Welcome my fellow VR nerds, this is Eyes on VR, where we talk all things Oculus Quest, and we dip our toes into some other VR stuff too, and today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a look at a few games, and we're going to see which ones work better with a rifle stock, and more importantly, which ones are more accommodating for a rifle stock. Okay, so to get it out of the way, the rifle stock I will be using is the Virtual Rifle Systems Mark III rifle stock. Now this thing is an absolutely beautiful rifle stock, but I will be doing a full review of that, and that will be coming out next week, so stick around for that. Once it's out, I will put a card up for it in this video, right around here. And then you can get into the meat and potatoes of this fantastic rifle stock. Now, as for today, we are going to be taking a look at Onward. We're going to be looking at Contractors. We're going to be looking at Pavlov. So to make this a fair test, I'm going to jump into every game and I'm going to use the exact same weapon with the same sights, no foregrip, just bog standard weapon with a sight, probably a holographic sight because I'm a sucker for a holographic sight. Now to test the accuracy, I'm going to do 5 body shots and 5 headshots. I will do 1 round without the gun stock, and then I will do 1 round with the gun stock. And then we'll compare the two and we'll have a look and see if there are any improvements. We'll also take a look at the game's gun stock settings, if there are any, and how in-depth they are. Okay, so here we are in Onward. Now Onward does have a setting for rifle stock. You only get 2 options here, which is virtual or disabled, and yet the description gives you 3 options, so I'm not really sure what to say there. But I've tested this out, and basically, if you have it disabled, then your gun works exactly the way it always does, whether you're using your rifle stock or not. If you have the virtual stock enabled, then basically it will lock the sight on when you bring it up to your face, literally like it would do on a console game. It will stick in the center, completely still and steady, like a first-person shooter on a PlayStation. Okay, so here we are on the range. Now I'm not going to show you all 10 shots for every example because that will get a bit boring. And in Onward, it only shows up 6 shots at one time anyway on the marker. So here we are, fired shots on both sides with and without the gun stock. If you take a look at these results here, it is pretty evident the grouping is much closer. My aim needs a little bit of work, quite clearly, but with the rifle stock, it clearly is more accurate over a period of time. Okay, here I am in Pavlov Shack's shooting range. By the way, if you haven't been on this part of Pavlov Shack, I highly recommend it. Now, what I've done is I've set out the targets. There's only about 0.2 in the distance between them, so I couldn't get it completely accurate. And after firing the shots, it's the same as it was in Onward. You can see my aim clearly needs work on the fly here, but the grouping is a lot tighter, far more accurate over a period of shots. Now, speaking of Pavlov, it doesn't have any settings for a physical gun stock, so you get what you're given, but I have to admit quite clearly from the results that it doesn't really matter, everything still works fine. Now, Contractors. This is a game that accommodates a rifle stock in the way I wish every single game would. If you look at these settings, you can pick from any gun in the game and you can select it and you can rotate it, move it on all the axes that count to line up with your real life rifle stock. This is going to give you a legitimate, perfectly lined up experience within the game. If you want to talk about what game is most accommodating for a rifle stock on the Quest, it is Contractors, without a doubt. Now, again, the results seem exactly the same. Over a period of shots, the grouping is just far more accurate. Obviously, work is still needed from me because I seem to be shooting a bit low here. But again, that grouping is so much tighter. Okay, so what I was going to do was, I was going to carry on with other games. I was going to look at Aspire 1, I was going to look at Covert Phantom Ops. But after trying Pavlov, Contractors and Onward, the results were pretty clear. Having a rifle stock while you are playing makes you more accurate. Now when I say more accurate, it doesn't exactly make where you end up shooting more accurate, but where you are shooting, your bullets are going to be on target a hell of a lot more often than without a gun stock. That grouping for all of those results was very tight. So what I decided to do was, I decided to fire up the granddaddy of gun games on the Oculus Quest, Gun Club VR. So what I did was, I selected a rifle, I customized it as much as I could to look like this baby, and I went on the range with it. Because Gun Club VR is just all about the shooting. That's it, that's all that game is. It's target practice shooting. It's more about the realism of the guns, the realism of the shooting. It's not quite like Pavlov, Contractors and Onward, where I wouldn't say the guns aren't realistic, but the comparison between those games and Gun Club VR is quite a wide margin when it comes to shooting. So I thought really this is the best way to test how much of a difference this baby really makes. So here we are on the range in Gun Club VR. I've made it look exactly like the rifle stock that I'm using, which I'm quite happy with, but that's the joy of Gun Club VR, a lot of customization. Now, as you can see, I'm very happy with the results here. Now, I can't say I'm too bad without the rifle stock here, but with it, I mean, that is just tight-knit group shots. In this game, this rifle stock definitely makes a difference. So Gun Club VR does have an option for a rifle stock, but it's more just an offset. You can move the virtual rifle up and down to try and align it with your physical gun stock. I didn't find that to work very well for me, so I chose to keep that option off, keep the offset at 0 and just do it my own way. But by all means, there is an option, so if you are having trouble, maybe go in and adjust things, and that might make things easier for you. That's it for the experiment. The question was, does a gun stock make a difference? Yes it does. It sure as hell can't make you aim any better, but where you are aiming, you're going to be more on target with those shots every single time with a gun stock than without. I would say if you want to get into things competitively or you really want to up your immersion, I would say get a gun stock. Just for the firing in game alone, it's going to make a massive difference for you. I would say if you are struggling in a game, buying quite an expensive rifle stock may not be the best option. There are cheap ones out there you can use to help you improve things, and I would say give them a go if you really want. But my biggest piece of advice is just spend some time on the range in your favorite game, playing with the weapons that you like to use the most. Practice. Just like real life with real guns, practice makes perfect. Right, I would say on those words of wisdom that's the end of the video. Now I've got a review of the rifle stock that I was using in this video coming up next week, the Virtual Rifle Systems Mark III rifle stock. Now stick around for that because I'm going to go in depth on this thing, and I tell you, I've played with it already and it is an absolute beast. So I'm looking forward to getting that out next week. So stick around, like, subscribe for more great content. We do lots of stuff on guns, gun stocks and gun games. We're all about the guns here at Eyes on VR. That's it for me, and I will see you next week.
RPG, hold it, back.